Come with me to plan an entire week's worth of lessons for high school English in less than 10 minutes by using the English Teacher Cool Club. Let's go. So I know that coming up next week, I want to focus on theme and poetry and all the things that go along with it. I know that I'll need a warm up, a lesson, and a practice for every single day. So let's head on over to the English Teacher Cool Club. I'm going to go to resource categories, and I can see that there is an entire resource category for bell ringers or warm-ups. And I have a selection here. I know that my students have kind of been struggling a little bit with writing, so I'm going to go for the writing warm-ups this week. What I have to do is click download, and I can download those materials. I have instructions here for all of my warm-ups. That way I can just click on the Google link and it will take me to all of the warm-ups. So that part is done. I'm going to fill in writing warm-up, and there's going to be a writing warm-up that I'm doing every day to practice those skills with them, which will be great because it'll go right along with how I want them to be able to write about poetry by the end of the week. Going back to the English Teacher Cool Club, going back to resource categories, and I don't really know where I want to start with themes, so I'm just going to enter in my search term theme and see what comes up. Oh, it's a mini lesson, so I'm going to check out this mini lesson. It looks like that there's a presentation of what is theme, how to find it, how to support it with textual evidence. This is perfect. Graphic organizer, student fill in the blank notes, and some stations to check for understanding. We'll definitely be doing this, so I'm going to download that. I'm going to do a theme mini lesson. And I know there's some practices built in there, but I feel like that I might want something just in case we have some extra time. So let's see what else I can find with theme that I could potentially review with them or just practice with them what theme means. There's a lot on theme. I'm just going to scroll through. Oh, okay. Looks like I can use some short films to practice with the Pixar short films. Excellent. I'll put that in my list. So, Pixar short film theme analysis. My students will love that. Okay, so on Tuesday, now that I feel like that they know what theme is, we'll just do a quick review of what they learned from the previous day, but then I also want them to know how to read a poem. Poetry can be really tough for students. So let's go back to resource categories, see what we have for how to read a poem. And there's an entire lesson on how to read a poem. This is great presentation. There's a video that I can give to them. There's student note sheets. Oh, and there's already built-in practice activities. So whole day plans. So a mini lesson on how to read a poem, and then poetry practice is already built in. Then we're going to go to Wednesday. I know they're going to need some review on poetry. So let's see if there's any cheat sheets on this. Going to the cheat sheet category. And there's a how to read a poem cheat sheet reference guide. So I can download that. They can go over that. So I'm going to review how to read a poem with cheat sheets. And I know that typically my students struggle with not just finding theme, but there's so much imagery in poetry that I want them to understand how imagery contributes to theme. So let's see what we can find for imagery. All right, and for going back to the English Teacher Cool Club, let's see what we can find on imagery. We're teaching imagery with Bloom's taxonomy. Teaching imagery and why it matters. That looks like what I'm going to need. So this looks like they're going to do a presentation, a small flip book, and a poem for practice. Yes, all that is built in. So I'm going to do the imagery mini lesson and then the poem for practice. Now, I feel like we need to put all of this together and work through this a little bit. So let's go back and see what all is in our poetry category. I'm going to go to poetry. Here. Oh, here's a poetry analysis choice board. And look, my students would be able to talk about theme and they would be talking about all of the different pieces that we learned throughout the week. There's 9 different poems for them to choose from. So I could do even different stations. I could do 9 different stations. I could do 3 different stations. Let's do this for Thursday. So we'll do a quick review on everything together. So themes, poetry, and imagery. And then we will do a station rotation with the poetry choice board. On Friday, I feel like I need to give them an assessment to make sure that we're on the right track and I can plan better for next week as well to kind of know their strengths and their growth areas. So let's see what kind of assessment that I can find on poetry. Go down to poetry. There's so many poetry, reading practices, Mother to Son, poetry analysis bundle, Rite of Passage, Invictus, Haunting Memories, war poetry. There's so many options here, but I know that I've read the poem Rite of Passage before, and I think it would be simple enough for my students to really grasp how the imagery is leading to theme. They could talk about it. And it looks like there are 7 multiple choice questions. Excellent. And there's even a written response question. We could work through that together. Definitely using that one. So poetry practice, right. Passage would be their assessment. And I know that there was a bundle of short film. So whatever short film I did not use. Oh, there's 3 different bundles of short films. So whatever bundle I did not use, whatever short film I did not use on Monday, I'm going to use it to review everything together, theme, imagery, and maybe we can even relate it to a poem or two after our assessment on Friday. So I'm going to type in short film literary analysis. My entire week is planned all through the English Teacher Cool Club.